and welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
And I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other fairy tales and folk tales and mythology. And we are fucking killing this intro.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Oh my god! It was like we've done this 87 times before.
Oh my god. Or more.
Perhaps even more.
Wow.
And you've been here the whole time.
Wow. You've been here the whole time.
We are in a weird mood. It's earlier than we usually record.
Mm-hmm. And also, I've been deathly ill for the past 4 days.
Guys, good news. I'm not the one dying this week. It's Max.
No, you were dying last week, and now I'm dying this week. Next week. It's a toss-up. Who knows?
It'll probably be me again.
It'll definitely be you again.
Yeah, for the first time ever, I'm feeling 87%. Max is feeling like 4%. Yay!
Yay. So both of our voices are really weird this week.
This is really hard not to be a dick about this because I cough a whole lot. And since becoming a teacher, I cough way more because I constantly am sick with a respiratory thing. And every time I cough on this podcast, I cut this out of the podcast, but every time I've done it since day one, I will cough and Max will go in a cute little fuck you, Janey.
Yep.
And now Max is the one coughing. She's like, I'm sick. And I'm like, are you? Are you sick?
Yeah.
It's hard not to be a dick about it. But I am doing a great job.
And you're really humble, too. Which is
and pretty.
and smart and funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all know. Okay, well, Max, I'm sorry that you're sick. You are feeling a lot better now than you were.
I am. Now it's just my nose is stuffed up. Whereas the past couple of days, it's been like, oh, my brain is going to split in two. And then there's going to be a geyser of mucus that comes out of my neck stump.
You are never sick. The whole time I've known you, I don't know if you've ever been as sick as you were last week.
Yeah, I rarely get sick. Yeah. It's mostly force of will, I think, where I just start getting sick and then I'm like, you better fucking not. And then I don't. But
couldn't fight it off this time.
No.
Even when you had COVID in Mexico, you were not sick.
No, my throat was a little bit sore.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So, literally, I could see the panic in your eyes. You finished day one of being sick. You were about to go to sleep. You looked at me and said, I know this is anxiety, but what if I die in my sleep? I was like, Max, you're not going to die in your sleep.
In my defense, I kept waking up every hour because I would not be able to breathe through my nose and I would start choking. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
That's my baseline, baby.
Go to a doctor.
I have. They asked me to stop coming. They're like, you're a teacher. This is just what you feel like now.
I also now work in a school, so yeah. I suppose I've earned it.
You have.
Gross.
Exciting. Well, I'm happy that
Not
you're feeling
exciting.
better. It's exciting for me.
That's bad. You're bad.
Friends. Friends who do stuff together.
Bad.
We don't do enough stuff together. I would like us to time our being sick. Thank you.
Yeah. We could have a little sleepover.
We could. I'm busy. I'm busy whatever day you're asking
fuck
about. You. Okay, well, this riveting banter, if you're like, how do I get more of this? You can for $3 a month. Max, take it away.
Why do I always have to take it away? For $3 a month on our Patreon, which we have linked in the show notes for this episode and every episode, and also on our website, sortofthestory.com. For $3 a month, you can join us on Discord and hang out with us and talk directly to us like we're real people. We're not just in your ears, we're on your phones, too.
Sometimes the group chat does have real sleepover vibes.
Yeah.
Max shared a picture of truly the most absurdly filled cauldron of enchilada rice last night.
Yeah.
And I woke up this morning to all the comments being, oh my god, what? Send some to me.
Yeah, it's great. The Discord is super fun.
Somebody on the Discord said, Janey, send me a picture of you from the front and from the side. I'm sending your haircut to my hairdresser so I could get it. And that made me laugh because as soon as I thought it, somebody else commented, they want a mugshot. So for $3 a month, you can demand photos of us. You can steal our hair.
You cannot demand photos of me, but you can steal my hair.
By the way, just go to the hairdresser and ask for the clairvoyant page boy. I have to cut my bangs again. It's becoming less of a clairvoyant page boy, and I would like it to stay the same.
I was supposed to have a haircut this week, but then I was sick.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that's for $3 a month.
For $7 a month, you get not only all that good stuff. But also a whole grade A USDA certified grass-fed episode every month. A whole new one. A whole one that nobody else gets except for other people who also paid $7 on the Patreon.
The episodes are vegetarian, but they are packed with protein.
They're meaty.
Yeah, they are meaty boys. Yeah, the
Meatless
bonus
and
episodes
meaty.
are... I wasn't sure how we were going to go about the bonus episodes. They're very fun.
Mm-hmm.
We get very personal on the bonus episodes.
Yeah.
We have in the last one.
Yeah, the last one was we dug pretty deep.
We did Q&As, and it was, like, honestly, that's a real ask us anything.
Yeah, it's cool because I've been choosing stories kind of that are more like, they're like a weird length that I wouldn't usually do on the podcast because it's not like about half an hour, or I've been doing like 2 short stories sometimes, or stories that don't necessarily fall under the standard umbrella of what we tell. And we can get into more personal stuff because pretty sure my mom and dad aren't going to pay $7 a month to hear about my personal business. So
now that you've said it, though, they're like, how do I sign up for the
God.
Patreon? And you do it by clicking on the link in the show notes and paying us $7.
So that's on our Patreon. Join us on the Patreon. There are also links in our show notes and also on the website, once again, sortofthestory.com.
You also get the episodes that you're listening to now. You get them a day early. So
yeah.
I don't know if you're like, it's Wednesday and it's so upsetting because I don't have an episode. Well, now you can.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we should mention this more. You also get access to all of the previous bonus episodes.
Yes, you do.
So you get not only one episode per month while you're subscribed, but you also get access to the backlog of episodes, which I think we have like 4.
We have 4
bonus
now.
episodes.
And if you sign up within the next couple weeks, then you might make it for the first Monday of July, which is when we'll release the 5th one. Then we'll have 5 bonus episodes.
Yeah.
5 boners, guys.
5 whole boners.
Sign up. It's very fun. It's a fun little guy.
Yeah.
And soon we will have another book club episode out because I'm almost done with Tam Lin. It's only taken me like 4 months.
Oh my God.
I am almost done. Here's the thing about Tam Lin. Here's a little sneak preview. It is like 500 pages long. It's a big boy. Which, again, bought it thinking it was going to be a drugstore little pulp novel. Nope, it's like a big book and it is 500 pages long.
It is literature.
It is literature. It is 99% descriptions of New England class schedules at like a 1970s liberal arts college. Fascinating. I'm enjoying every single minute. However, the plot hasn't started yet. And I mentioned this. Somebody on Tinder asked me, like, oh, what book are you reading? Because I have a picture of the book on my head. I wasn't reading it. It was on my head because I forgot my sunglasses. And I put that up as my Tinder picture. He was like, is the book good? And I was like, yeah, but the plot hasn't happened yet. And he came back with, the plot, I think you actually mean the climax hasn't happened yet. And I was like, no, like... No, I don't know what the book is about. I'm on page like 423 and there's no plot so far. Just vibes. He's like, why are you still reading it? And I was like, I accidentally made it work. I don't know, man.
I'm legally required by myself to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, and you're going to hear that episode very soon. Honestly, it's a delight. I'm having a great time. No idea what it's about, but I'm here for the journey, which hasn't happened yet. So.
Yeah.
You can get that by joining our Patreon, and we will give you more details every week because that's what we do now.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been business professionals.
Yeah.
We can now unclip our ties. We can take off our little shirts, their t-shirts that have the suit jacket screen printed on it.
Mm-hmm. I'll remove all of my pocket protectors.
Yes. We could finally get rid of the calculators that we have been holding and furiously clicking. Underneath the shirt, my tuxedo t-shirt is a t-shirt with a bikini-clad lady on it. So.
Ooh, it's summertime.
It's summertime. Time to get sexy. Are you ready for a story, Max?
I am ready for a story.
I'm really excited to tell you this story. I think you're going to like it. I think you specifically are going to be excited about the story.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Okay, we're going to take a very brief break. It's going to be 1 second long while we transition. Goodbye. Okay, Max.
Janey.
I am bringing you a story from the Virago book of Witches.
I love this cover.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It is edited by Shahrukh Hussain. She is a Pakistani author who is pretty darn cool. And she's a great writer, and I'm enjoying every single bit of this book. It is a joy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And the cover is gorgeous. Do you want to describe it a little bit?
Sure. It's a bunch of, it's a black cover, and it has a bunch of paintings, sort of in a ring of, there's like a barn owl, there's a snake that's been cut up, and there's an eyeball, and then there's a hand with some branches growing through it. It's all just very colorful and witchy.
Yeah, it's like witch iconography. There's tarot cards and crystals and birds. It's cool as shit.
Yeah, I like it. I like the colors a lot, too.
I bought this book because, if you remember a little while ago, I did a story from Angela Carter's second Virago book of fairy tales and folk tales, or whatever it was called, which was about women in folklore. And then I saw this because Shahrukh Hussain was the person who finished editing her book after Angela Carter died. And she died while she was working on, like, the source notes. So she had all of her notes. She had already written the book. Like, she was all done. But, like, the last couple chapters hadn't been fully sourced. And so Shahrukh Hussain, who works with the Virago Publishing Company, went through and she finished it for her. And it was a lovely little, like, collaboration and very respectfully done. And then I saw that she wrote the Virago Book of Witches, and I was like, yes, please. And then I saw that she wrote the Virago Book of Erotic Folktales, and I was like, check, please.
I'll take 2.
I'll take what she's having. And then I bought the book. So this book, again, is very well done. The chapter, like the way that the table of contents is broken down is, of course, just like all anthologies. They have like chapter headings and then stories underneath there that fit those headings. So number 1 is Alluring Women and Ailing Knights. Number 2 is Wise Old Women. Number 3, Witches in Love, Possessive Women and Devoted Wives. Number 4, Transformations. Number 5, Guardians of the Seasons and Elements. Number 6, Witchy Devices, Cauldrons, Broomsticks, and Trysts with the Devil. And 7, Hungry Hags, Cannibals, and Bloodsuckers.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is quite fun. It is fully sourced in the back. You know exactly where she got all of these stories, and you get a little bit of her writing and editing process, which is very fun. The point of this book, she has an introduction where she talks about witches in history and how that transformed folklore and why it is so prevalent and making kind of like a huge comeback in the modern era. And she talks mainly just about how whenever women are like fucking fed up, they tend to go back to witch like iconography and stuff like this because it's just persecuted women throughout history in basically every single culture known to man.
It's kind of a chicken and egg thing where a lot of the tropes about like witches and wicked women come from empowered women and men trying to undermine that power by saying like, oh no, it's actually bad.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's
an endless
self-perpetuating
horrible cycle. So she goes into that quite a bit in the preface, and then I was like, maybe the introduction will tell us a little bit more about her writing style, and the introduction was just basically a continuation of the preface to me, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't have all goddamn day, but it is fascinating, and I recommend this book. But I chose a story from the first section, Alluring Women and Ailing Knights. And I'm going to tell you, Max, the story of the marriage of Sir Gawain. This story is narrated by Sir Gawain. And so I'm going to read you the first paragraph because I think it's beautifully written. Okay? So this is it. Quote, I expect, boy, you think you'll make your life. Hammer it to the shape you want as the blacksmith hammers metal. But life makes us, not the other way around. I can see that clearly now as I tell you, as I tell myself, the stories that have brought me to this tent. Why, even the king has had to live on the terms life offered to him. He hasn't made his own. So I'll tell you a story to show you how life takes us and shakes us and makes us do its bidding. End quote.
It's a good quote.
It's a pretty great opening to a story, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the story he tells us. One day, King Arthur was traveling in the north of his realm. He was all alone. He was on horseback. I don't know why Arthur was constantly going off by himself. Like, is there no such thing as, like, medieval Secret Service? Like, where are his knights?
I think that's the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah,
the Secret Service.
Where were they? So they were not with him. And every time he's alone, he gets fucked up. Like, somebody fucks with him. Arthur, you're kind of an important person. Okay, so he's all alone. He's on horseback. And he comes to this pass that he needs to get through. But there's a problem. There's a giant, hairy man holding a wooden club saying, you can't pass.
That is a problem.
And Arthur's like, but I have to pass. And he's like, fucking fight me then. And Arthur's like, okay. So Arthur, a little too big for his britches, if you ask me, gets off his horse. He saunters off, like up like a cowboy. You know, he's doing that cowboy waddle that they do. Mm-hmm. And then he rolls his eyes and he shakes his head like, well, this guy's gonna fucking get it. And he starts to take out his sword, and then the guy takes his club and smashes his head.
Oh.
And then beats the shit out of him. He just fully almost kicks King Arthur to death.
All right.
The story says he beats him black and blue. So then he hog ties King Arthur, and he ties him to the underbelly of his horse. So he's just like hanging underneath the horse. And then he's like, okay, let's go. And then they walk away. King Arthur has been kidnapped.
Huh.
The end. No. I don't know. I thought that was a really weird way to open the story.
Hoisted by his own petard.
And so Arthur wakes up a while later, right? And he's like groggy, and he's like, what's happening? Oh my God. And he's really sore, and he can't figure out why he woke up. And then he realizes the huge hairy man is poking him with a stick. And he's like, you're still alive. And Arthur's like, what the fuck is happening? And he is still hogtied, and he is in a great hall in his captor's house. And the hairy man laughs at him and then uses a knife to cut the ropes that are tying Arthur. And he says, okay, you're my boot boy now. And Arthur's like, what is that?
What's a boot boy?
Oh my God. What does that job description entail? And he's like, you have to do everything you're told. Basically, you're my servant. And Arthur's like, I'm a king. And then he like kicks him in the head again. And he's like, all right. What do you want, master? So, for weeks, Arthur is forced to work for this hairy man who bullies him constantly and is a real dick. He also, beats him and starves him, and he's a terrible host. And so finally, Arthur just can't take it anymore. The story is like, kings never bow to anyone, but Arthur fucking took a knee. He was like, hey,
choose your
buddy.
battles.
Yeah, this is not the hill I'm gonna die on. What if you let me go? And the guy's like, why would I do that? And he's like, because I'm a king and I can get you whatever you want. Like, you want riches? You want bitches? I got them all, buddy. Let me go. And the hairy man is like, I don't need money or jewels. I got 99 problems, and so far a bitch ain't one. So no thank you. He tells Arthur the only way he would let him go is if, within a year and a day, this is basically the only thing that medieval writers knew how to
tell
do.
Time.
Yeah, they were like, okay, in a year and a day, you're going to do this. Because this has showed up every single medieval story we think we've ever told.
Especially Arthurian legends, I feel like.
Yes.
Why not just make it a year?
Yeah. No, it has to be the next day.
Okay.
But he's like, in a year and a day, you have to answer my riddle. And if you get the answer correct, you can go and live as a free man. But if you answer wrong, I'm going to chop off your head. And Arthur's like, yeah, deal. Because Arthur fucking loves riddles. Oh my God. Riddles are Game of Thrones in this time, okay? It's all anyone can fucking talk about.
Am I going to get to try and solve the riddle?
Yes, you are.
Yes! I love riddles.
I have bad news for you, though. The riddle is just the premise to a Mel Gibson movie. So, specifically, they shake on it. The hairy man's like, okay, so here's your riddle. What is it that women most desire?
Oh, I've heard this one.
Yeah, this is the Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want.
This is a riddle that's come up. I feel like I've read this in another fairy tale recently.
But because the true riddle is, what's going on in women's heads?
Women be like,
but we would like that translated, please.
Yeah, I just read this in a fairy tale somewhere. I can't think of where it was, but
well, you don't need to answer it straight away.
But I know a couple of answers to it.
Okay, we're not going to do that, Max, because you'll ruin my story if you guess it. Fine. Or I can bleep it if you want.
No, it's fine.
I'll bleep it. What do you think? What do you think it is? Sorry, I'm sorry. Answer the question, and I'll bleep it if you get it right. No. If you get it right, I'll bleep it. Go.
A couple of answers come up. Oh, maybe it was a Bible story. No. One of them was to be asked what they want. So it's either like a Greek myth or a Bible story or something like that. Someone's given this riddle and they finally go to a woman. They're like, I just don't know how to solve this riddle of figuring out what all women desire. And she's like, why don't you just ask them? That's what they want, is to be asked.
Okay, actually, this is a good segue. So they shake on this, right?
Mhm.
Arthur's like, thank you for the riddle, goodbye. And then he runs away as fast as he can. Along the way, he meets many people, and he asks them all the question, men and women, right? He's like, hey, what do women want? And they all had answers. These are some of the answers they give them. Women want a good husband, or a rich husband, or a handsome husband. They want beautiful daughters, or clothes, or jewels, or flattery, or attention. Most of the husbands said they want a life of idleness, which I'm like, ding, ding, ding. That is all I want.
Leave me alone.
I would like you to not be here, except when I need snacks. So Arthur knew each time he heard one of these, like, answers that even though they were hilarious, they weren't the answer to the riddle. Like, he's listening to it and he's like, nah, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. All these women are like, no, I want dresses. And he's like, you're wrong. They're like, no, that's what I want. Dresses. And he's like, no, that's
Women
not right.
don't know what they want.
They don't even know. So he's just like really stumped and kind of bummed out about it. Eventually, he meets up with Sir Gawain, and they split up to cover more ground. Arthur rides east, and Gawain rides west. They fill whole books with answers that they get from people on their travels, but they never find an answer that stood out to them as particularly profound. They were completely stumped. The year passed quickly. Right? Like, much quicker than Arthur anticipated it would pass. And then he has to ride back to the hairy man's house. And he carries with him 2 books full of the answers that they thought were the best guesses, but no hope in his heart, because he just knew they did not find the answer to this riddle. And so he rides kind of silently. He's like sulking the whole way. He's like, this sucks. But while on a narrow winding path in the gloomy forest one night, his horse suddenly stumbled. King Arthur saw that there was a clearing filled with light right next to them. And, quote, 24 of the folk it is better not to name were dancing.
Oh, 420, blaze it.
420 of some super high people we don't want to talk about.
They're on an ayahuasca retreat
Right?
in the medieval British forest.
And he's like, it's best not to talk about those guys. So he urged his horse forward, and the dancers disappeared, as did the lights, and the only one left was the shape of a woman, draped in black, sitting quietly on a rock by herself. She was so hideous and evil-looking that Arthur genuinely felt sick a little bit. He's like, oh god, she's so ugly. And he immediately is like, come on, horse, let's go. And he tries to get the horse to slip past her. However, she let out a cry that was closer to a croaking sound, which I found pointed, because that's how I cry now. And then she rose and she spoke to him. And Arthur reluctantly rode his horse back towards her, and he's like, oh, hey, I didn't see you there. What's up? Oh, and Shahrukh Hussain says, as he approached, mist coiled and wreathed around the legs of his horse. So, magic is afoot. So she told him, quote,
More like a hoof.
Magic is a hoof. Are you proud?
No.
Barely. She told him, quote, King Arthur is your name, and you ride to your doom if you do not answer the hardest question ever asked. Speak if this is true. And he's like, yeah. How do you know that? And she's like, don't worry about it. She's like, listen, answer the question right now. What is it that women most desire? And he's like, I really don't know. Genuinely, I have no idea. I'm going to be honest with you. Women are an enigma. What the hell do they want? And she's like, well, I can tell you. And he's like, can you really? And she's like, yeah, I know the answer. All you have to do is grant my one wish. And he's like, deal! No questions asked, my lady. You can have whatever you want. Because Arthur has learned no lessons so far.
Not even one.
When he agreed to grant her wish, she limped forward and she whispered the answer into his ear, and he immediately knew that it was the correct answer. He's like, oh my god, that's so good. Yes, that's the answer. And relieved, he's like, what do you want? Gold, jewels, titles, lands, all of them. Take them all. You can have them all. Riches, bitches, what do you want? What's your thing? And she's like, listen, I don't need any of that. I've got 99 problems and they're all bitches, so I really don't need any more. And she says the only thing she wanted was for him to marry her to one of his knights. And Arthur immediately is like, ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. No. Oh, man. And he's like, all my knights are so fucking chill and they're all hot and they're young and they're brave and they have so much ahead of them. I can't marry them to this woman who's making me want to throw up all over the place. Like, I can't do that. That's rude. Also, she's like old and gross. By the way, this story is problematic about how it talks about older women.
Sure.
Okay, so he feels awful. He's like, listen, I can't do that. And she's like, well, if you use the answer to my riddle, if it's the right one, you have to. You already agreed to it. And so as he like opens his mouth to object, she suddenly disappears on the mist and he's alone. So now he's real bummed out. He rides his horse to his once master's house, truly not knowing what to do. When the hairy man asks him for the answer, Arthur opens his books and just starts trying all of the other answers. He's like, please let one of these miraculously be the right answer. But they're not. The guy is like laughing at him and he's like sharpening his axe and he's like, all right, well, you're almost done. And Arthur's like, damn it, damn it, damn it. Arthur had thought that he would rather die than use the old woman's answer. He's like, no, I'm not going to condemn my knights to this marriage. That's rude. And this is kind of my deal. So it's not fair that she dragged my knights into this. Like, that's rude. And so eventually, though, the hairy man laughs at him and says, quote, your famous knights are obviously as puny in the brain as they are in the arm, because they couldn't help him solve the riddle. And then he like raises his sword above his head to swing it down. And Arthur's like, nobody talks about my bros like that. And then he fixes his eyes on the giant and he gives him the answer. Do you have another guess before I tell the answer?
To be understood?
It's dresses. No.
Oh, what?
That's the answer. Quote, since Eve first walked, her one desire is still, in all her dealings, just to have her will. She wants sovereignty. That's what women want.
Yeah, they want to be asked what they want.
No, they just want to, they don't want to be asked what they want. They just want to do what they want.
Yeah.
They want to be free.
Yeah.
This is a medieval story. I thought that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Nobody learned from it, but okay. So then, after he says this...
They were like, well, they can want that all they want.
But they don't know what they want, actually. So then he turns and he rides away, and the giant doesn't stop him, because he had won. He comes home, and he tells everyone the answer to the riddle, and everyone's like, wow, that's amazing! No woman in the whole court would have guessed that answer, but they all were like, oh, yeah, no, he's right. He was right. That was the answer. I still want dresses, but you're right, I want free will more than anything. Didn't even think that was an option.
I want the free will to get my own dresses.
I want my free will to have you buy me more dresses whenever I want. Mm-hmm. That's truly what I want. So then, Arthur called his knights to him, and he tells them the awful news. And he didn't sugarcoat it. He's like, listen, this bitch ugly. And they were like, cool, but like, is she like tolerable? And he's like, nah.
She's got a face like, bleh, and like a voice like, yeah.
But an ass like, bleh. So, Sir Gawain, immediately though, he hears this and he's like, I'll marry her. Let me do it. I'll do it. No, listen, you don't even have to describe her anymore. I will marry her. He said, this is Sir Gawain. He said, quote, I had been ensnared by beauty in Sir Bertilac's castle. I knew that the pleasure we take in another's face is mostly the reflection of our own vanity. This woman sounded like a fit companion for my days and nights of shame. The fucking Green Knight story traumatized the shit out of Gawain.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm a bad person because this woman kept coming up and seducing him and he didn't have sex with her, but like, that thing changed Sir Gawain as a person.
Yeah.
I like hearing the aftermath of this, that he's like, marry me to a hag, it's what I deserve. I got so many a boner about another man's life.
And he also has a love spot.
He does have a love spot. God.
He's going to take her to his love spot.
Love spot, baby, love spot. Okay. So the wedding date was set. By the way, what episode was that we did Arthurian Legends? Was it 50?
Maybe.
We'll look at it.
Later.
We'll put it at the end. So the wedding date was set, and in a month, the court lined the streets to watch the old woman ride up. This was the old woman who had saved the king. And here's her description. Okay, quote. From her filthy tangled hair, bald in patches so her scaly scalp showed through, to her claw-like feet, there was no limb or feature that was not deformed and ugly. I have a hard time reading this, because it's gross.
Yeah.
It's just a gross description of it. Anyway.
It's an upsetting way to talk about a
human being. Yeah. But it is, in fact, a fairy tale, and this is unfortunately par for the course. Her shapeless, scrawny body was bad enough. But her breath, woo! But it was her face that made the onlookers shudder. Her skin was coarse and wrinkled, her eyes bleared, her nose dribbling and warty, her mouth a simple gash, with sunken lips drawn back over yellow, decaying teeth. Dressed in a white lace gown, she seemed a horrid mockery of a bride. End quote.
Damn.
Yeah, they really fucking didn't hold back. So the ceremony was awful. The wedding was a somber event. Everyone was like, oh, this sucks. Gawain is the cutest knight. He's marrying a monster. At the wedding feast, while everyone picked at their food kind of awkwardly, the bride is like tearing into bread and meat with her hands. She's like, oh, this is delicious. Like beer is fucking dribbling down her face. She didn't pick up a fork once. And they said she ate enough for 6 and drank enough for 9. And I'm like, that's a point for her.
Yeah.
What?
Well done.
Everyone should be impressed. It's not like they were fucking eating.
Yeah.
So then came the wedding night, and Sir Gawain begins to lose his courage. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, they go into the wedding chamber, and he's like, cool, so should we talk? And she's like, take off your pants. And he's like, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is awful. And so he's just, like, really genuinely terrified and scared. Also, again, Gawain is fairly young, and he is the cute one out of all of them. Like, he's used to being, I think, treated like a baby.
Yeah.
And now he's just, like, in a room alone with this horrendous woman who's like, hi! Just covered in food. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Gawain is also, he is one of the younger knights. He's Arthur's nephew. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like the second generation of the Knights of the Round Table a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of hope for Gawain, too. Like, everyone's kind of projecting that Gawain's going to be, like, is he going to be the one that takes over for Arthur or something like that? Like, there's something like Gawain. There's a lot of pressure on Gawain as well.
Yeah, he's supposed to help carry the knights forward, I think. I don't know if there's, like, a specific, like, title transfer or anything like that, but he is, like, he's the hope of the knights, sort of.
Yeah. And so now he's here. And the woman says, quote, what's the matter, Chuck? Come on, give us a kiss. He's like, oh, God.
I'm just picturing... what, like a...
Beetlejuice.
No, I'm picturing a cockatiel with, like, an old lady hair wig.
Give us a kiss! Give us a kiss! Aww. He's genuinely...
Oh, her hooked claw-like feet.
Oh my God, she's just...
bird!
She's just a big old bird. So he's afraid he's going to vomit, right? He's like, okay. And he takes a breath, and he, like, turns to kiss his new wife. And then he's suddenly overcome with a strange feeling. He suddenly realizes that he feels sorry for her. Like, he's looking at her, he's realizing they're on their wedding night, he's looking at how, like, she looks and her age and all this stuff, and he's like, it's not her fault that she looks like this. Like, Gawain is suddenly, like, it hits him all at once, where he's like, this person didn't ask to look like this. And everyone in the kingdom fucking recoiled at the sight of her. And she saved Arthur. Like, she didn't have to do that. She stayed out of there. She saved Arthur's life in, like, the last moment. She was wise enough to know the answer to this riddle. Like, it's not her fault that she looks like this. And we are married no matter what. Like, it's not going to help anything for me to be sitting here treating her like she's this hideous monster. Like, what is that going to do? And so he, like, suddenly he's like, he takes a breath and he's like, okay, it's fine. And he realizes that her touch is no longer, like, revolting to him because he's kind of, like, empathizing with her now in this moment. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, okay. And so he kisses her right on her, quote, watery old mouth, which did make me feel a little sick.
Gross. His
eyes are closed. And she embraces him, and she says, quote, come, look at me, husband, for we two now are one. And he opens his eyes, like, really, like, opens, like, one eye, like, yeah. And he sees that she has transformed into a beautiful young woman, no more than 18 years old. Let's hope no less. Either. She is exactly 18. She was an old soul. I like to think that Gawain probably wasn't that much older than that, though. He fell to his knees before her beauty, and she explained that she was cursed by her terrible father, the hairy man that had imprisoned Arthur. That's her dad.
Oh my God.
And Gawain's kiss had freed her because he had seen that her looks didn't matter. It's a whole Beauty and the Beast situation.
Yeah.
But not completely. Now she's under a Shrek rule.
Oh.
Yeah. Gawain would have to choose what would happen to her now. She's like, all right, so here's the deal. What I look like now is my true form, but I can only be this for 12 hours out of the day. So you have to now choose. Am I going to be this for the morning / to like noon? Or am I going to be like this at night? And Gawain's like, fuck. What? I think it's like an 8 to 8 situation. Like during the day, she looks like a beautiful woman or like a hideous monster, right? And then during the night. So she says, quote, "Think hard, Sir Gawain, before you choose. Imagine how I will feel as I walk among the ladies of the court in that witch-like shape by day. How you will feel if I greet you in that shape each night. Consider well and choose the lesser of the two evils." And I'm like, people can fuck during the day.
That's allowed.
That's allowed, you prudes. Gawain didn't have to think about it, though. He was still overcome with how lovely she was. And he told her, the burden of this curse isn't on me. It's on you. You're the one that has to live with it. Like, it's not my body. So I shouldn't have the option to choose this because it's not about me. And so he says, whatever you choose, I'm going to be fine with it. So whatever is your wish is my wish also. And she smiles at him and she's like, well, you solved it. You solved my father's riddle. He had given her what women most desire, their own free will. And for that, the curse was broken completely. And now she was hot forever.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And it's the end quote. And this is Gawain talking to us again. "Yes, boy, we think we take our own decisions, but in the end they're taken for us. At least that's so for men in this world, poor creatures that we are. Even for the king. Even, though I curse him with every painful breath I draw, even for Sir Lancelot."
Oh.
The end.
Sequel plug?
I know! What? Bring up Lancelot. Do it. And that's the marriage of Sir Gawain.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty good?
Pretty good.
I know it's like bare minimum, but also it wasn't bare minimum for Arthurian legends.
Yeah, no, Sir Gawain, women defender.
Sir Gawain, feminist icon.
This is something that always, I feel like comes up in every single fairy tale of, like, the transformation, transformation into something horrid that, like, is broken by true love, whatever. Mm-hmm. Where immediately, as soon as it's like, hey, I accept you as the monster that you are, it's like, oh, great, well, now I'm not a monster anymore, and you didn't have to prove that or accept that for any period of time longer than 1 second. That's all it took to break the curse. No more difficulty forever.
This is what makes, unironically, what makes Shrek such a good fucking story.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was one of the most surprising endings for anybody who's ever heard a single fairy tale in their whole goddamn life. You know? Yeah, no, Shrek is a pretty perfect movie. It's a perfect story. It has all the same tropes of fairy tales turned on their heads. Mm-hmm. And that's an unironic plug for Shrek.
Everyone go watch Shrek.
Everyone, let's watch Shrek together. But I completely agree. Just a few notes before we get into kind of the problems in this story. Shahrukh Hussain is a Pakistani author who specializes in fiction, nonfiction, and screenwriting. She's also a psychotherapist, a folklorist, and a storyteller. But I think her being a psychotherapist really shows through in a lot of these stories. Like, she puts a lot of her, like, empathy and, like, expertise in these stories, which is very cool. Sir Gawain's wife's name, she's not named in this story, but she does have a name in the Morte d'Arthur, which is Dame Ragnell, which sounds like an old hag's name. Mm-hmm. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And according to Shahrukh Hussain, the hag here is the lost British goddess Sovereignty, also known as the Loathly Lady. Ooh. Yeah, she's like an actual figure. She tests men to see if they are fit to be king. If they accept her loathly form, they have proven themselves willing to accept the, quote, tribulations of rulership along with the privileges. Which is why I'm thinking that Gawain had a bigger purpose. He never got to really realize that purpose because later on he is murdered by Lancelot, but Lancelot tries really hard not to murder him. It's just that Gawain fucking hates Lancelot and is constantly like, fucking fight me! And Lancelot's like, if I fight you, you'll die. Please. And he's like, no, I won't. And then he will like beat him almost to death and then leave his body. And Gawain's like, this isn't over. And then he'll like come back and be like, fucking fight me. I'm healed now. And Lancelot's like, you have to stop. You have to stop. And eventually he does kill him.
Damn.
Yeah. But also, I think Lancelot killed Gawain's brothers. Like, there's like a whole history between the two. Lancelot, I think, is one of the sadder characters in this mythology, but that's a whole other thing. Also, as I was looking up this feud between Lancelot and Gawain, there's a lot of discourse about how these two have very similar storylines, but they make the exact opposite decisions. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Green Knight story, which Max told in episode something, 50? Maybe. I have to look this up. 1 second. Arthurian Legends, yeah. which Max told in episode 50, Arthurian Legends, parentheses, keep it in your britches, which we do not. In the story of the Green Knight, Gawain specifically is heavily seduced, and he resists it every time because he is a knight and he has firm morals. He's like, nope, you are married.
That's not always.
And firm britches. So, but he's like, no, you're married. I can't do that. I'm a knight. Like, we have to not do this. And like, she tries real fucking hard to seduce him, and it's sexy as hell. Yeah. But Lancelot, in kind of direct opposition, does not resist having sex with Guinevere. Yeah. Like, he, for sure, like, that ruins everything for Lancelot, is this relationship with Guinevere. And so they're always like, they're showing the two sides of morality here, how they both make decisions and it informs the rest of their lives, kind of. So Gawain and Lancelot are compared a lot in Arthurian legends.
Yeah. You mentioned the idea of the goddess sovereignty.
Yeah.
I took a course in college on, like, the history of Irish drama, and that ended up being a lot about, like, Irish history and the iconography of, like, the Irish identity. Uh-huh. And one of the things that they talked about is this, the figure of, like, the wandering woman, and she is, variously depicted as either, one of the old Gaelic goddesses who is kind of a harbinger.
Yeah, like,
but sometimes...
like
the Morrigan?
The Morrigan. Yeah, like the Morrigan, she's compared to the British goddess sovereignty a lot as well.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's the Morrigan that she's, I think it's...
She, like,
it's
sometimes...
like the three-faced goddess is who she's usually...
Yeah, the Morrigan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she, it's this, like, figure of a woman who appears as either a young woman or a mother or a crone, mm-hmm. and she kind of, like, wanders the land of Ireland, and her coming either usually signifies, like, a time of great change. So, like, if an old woman wanders through the village and doesn't talk to anybody or look at anybody, everyone's like, oh shit,
no.
Uh-oh.
So I just had, the reason why I know for sure it's the Morrigan is because when I went to New York, we went for, like, we're a group of girls that all read ACOTAR, which Max has not read, but you should, and then just be part of this. But there's a character named Moore. She's the Morrigan, but the way that this is written is so fucking stupid, where she's like, my power is truth-telling. You know that I tell the truth. And that's never mentioned again. And people are like, what the fuck is this? And so we did a slideshow night, and I was going to do a slideshow on the history of the Morrigan, and then I realized it was way too serious, and I was just doing an episode of the podcast and at a party. And so I scrapped it, but I did all this research on the Morrigan. Mm-hmm. And she's the three-faced goddess, and she also will sometimes just appear as, like, an old woman, and she does the exact same thing of, like, if you can resist, or if you can accept her as she is, then sometimes you'll get blessings, or you're like, oh, maybe I am going to be a hero. And then sometimes she's just, like, a random woman in the background, like, washing blood off of a shield, and that's, like, a hugely bad sign. Yep. And somebody will be like, oh, anyway, so the battle plan is going to be like, wait a minute, who is that woman? She's just like, it's your blood. Like, oh, no! Am I going to die?
And she's like, yeah!
Yeah! And then she starts to furiously lick the blood off the shield, and they're like, ew!
Gross!
Kill that woman!
Yeah, the Morrigan. We did, what was it? I did an episode on the Morrigan and what's his name? The Tuatha De Danann.
Oh, yeah. Dagda. The Dagda,
yeah. And the Dagda is just, like, the original himbo, and she's the original hot goth wife.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
They're wild.
They're pretty good. They're also fight constantly.
They're fucking messy and super hot.
Yeah, they are. Okay, well, with this one, too, there's a lot of things that I love about it. Obviously, that the takeaway is that maybe women should have rights.
Wow.
Maybe men shouldn't make decisions for women about their bodies. What if? But there's also so much about it that I was like, this is hard to read. For example, how we treat elderly women in everything, just in life in general. It starts with folklore. The old women are considered evil. They just are. Like, they are constantly compared to young women. Women in their youth are considered pure and worthy of saving, and women who are older, if they are not in, like, a grandmotherly, like, teaching role, are old hags that deserve to be murdered.
Yeah, and regardless, they're always, like, a sexless figure.
They are a sexless figure, exactly. And the way that they describe this woman, too, feels very ableist as well, like just the idea of like she's balding in spots, or she's deformed and she's ugly. There's not a single part of her that isn't like twisted. And it's like, well, first of all, that happens with age a lot of times, that your joints and stuff can become twisted. That's called arthritis, and it's normal. It happens to men too, but we never ever had a description of a man like this.
Yep.
And it's just like it's a rough ride for anybody who is not a fan of that. And so it was kind of hard for me to type down. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I hate the idea that her worth is, and that's the point of the story, but also her worth is fully centered around what she looks like and how able her body is. And at the end, she becomes a beautiful 18-year-old forever.
Yeah, and no more problems.
No more problems. Yeah, it's a huge fucking bummer.
Do we know anything else about the hairy man?
Nope.
He's just a big old hairy guy?
He's just a
dad?
big old hairy guy who had a hot daughter who he was like, nope! Not on my... Also, is he really the bad guy here? Because...
He did kidnap Arthur. That's the only thing that's like...
Yeah, but Arthur sometimes deserves to be spanked a little.
That's a separate issue.
Hey. No, it's just... His whole thing was he put her in a form that was considered very old and ugly, but the way that she could get out of that was finding a man who understood that it wasn't his choice to make about what happens to her body. That doesn't seem like a villain to me. That seems like, I'm not going to let my hot 18-year-old go marry some fucking dick who's going to treat her like an object,
Yeah.
It's backwards as hell, but it doesn't seem as villainous as I think that the story wants it to seem.
Yeah. Yeah, the villainous part to me is that it's like the early part where he's like, I'm gonna murder you. Like, that's the part where he's a bad guy, kind of. And also, I mean, I guess to his own point about like the sovereignty and the choice of women should also be allowed to choose their own partners, like...
Yeah.
So he's kind of making that choice for her and is then himself violating the edict that he's put down for how women should be treated.
He's not a perfect dad, for sure. But this is a pretty wild story. I enjoyed it.
That's a good one. I had a great time.
Yeah. We should do more Arthurian legends.
Yeah. I wish the riddle was better.
They're just really hard to you wish the riddle was better?
Yeah.
You didn't like, what do women want? Max really thought that it was supposed to be dresses.
I want like a riddle.
Oh. Remember the riddle that Samson asks everyone where he's like, what did I see while I was walking?
Yeah.
And it's just not a riddle.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Max, do you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be right back. Goodbye.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
So the story that I have for you today, I already told you that I was like, I really just need a slam dunk this week. The past couple of episodes, I have had to fight tooth and nail to find a story that was good. And so I was like, I just want a little bit of a hole-in-one here.
Yeah, I don't want to read any other stories. I just want to know that what I pick is going to be the right one.
Yeah, because, I mean, genuinely, sometimes I've gone through entire books trying to find a story for that week's episode. And frankly, I just don't have time for that today.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Good.
So I went for a classic, never fails, true blue, Kwaidan Stories and Studies of Strange Things by Lafcadio Hearn.
Yes.
This is a collection of Japanese stories. A lot of them are about yokai, which are Japanese goblins and spirits and things like that.
Lafcadio Hearn was the author of the story that you said in the episode titled World's Densest Baby.
Yes.
That was the baby that just kept getting heavier and heavier as the strong man held him. And that's one of my favorite stories you've ever told.
That's a good one.
It's a really good story.
Lafcadio Hearn I've done a bunch of his stories on the podcast, but he was from, I can't remember exactly.
Greece, right?
Somewhere. He was from Europe. And then he went to the United States for a little while and then went to Japan and he met his wife and became the biggest wife guy in the world, where he was like, I love my wife so much that I love all of Japan. And he changed his name. He gave himself a Japanese name and became one of the cultural keepers of Japanese lore.
I do like that the other way to say that is he met his wife and then appropriated her culture.
100%. Yeah, no, it definitely is not entirely morally righteous, but
pretty
he is
cool
just,
with what he did.
Yeah. He is we do have a lot of really cool Japanese works in translation because of Lafcadio Hearn.
Yeah.
And again, just such a wife guy. So this story comes from Kwaidan, which is just a really great collection of stories by Lafcadio Hearn. And this story is called Rokuro-Kubi.
Okay.
And I'm just going to tell you right now, because this one's a goddamn winner, that this is a yokai story.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So, there was a samurai. His name was, and I have a cold, and I also don't speak Japanese, so please give me a fucking break.
Unacceptable.
His name is Isogai Hidezaemon Takatsura, and he is a...
It's a guy, he does Zuma in a
zoo. He is a very famous and well-known samurai, and he fights in many extraordinary battles, of which there are stories told elsewhere. Mm-hmm. But through no fault of his own, the house of the family that he serves is struck down, and so he is without a job. The head of his household that he is a samurai for is no longer a factor.
Yeah.
So he's no longer a samurai. Rather than going to find work with another family, he decides that he's like, no, that was my devotion. I don't want to keep doing this anymore if it's not for that family.
Yeah.
And so he retires and he becomes a traveling priest. And he takes on a new name, which is much easier to say. It's Quario.
Mm-hmm. Quario. That's
Quario.
There's Mario, there's Wario, and there's Quario.
He's just Wario, but he doesn't understand what's going on. He's like, Qua? Qua?
He's a Wario, but he is a quail.
Aw.
Bob White.
Bob White.
Quario.
Do you think anyone who listens to our podcast and hasn't listened to all the previous episodes is constantly confused?
Yeah, I think that this is a sign to go back and listen to all the episodes. Also, I'm so upset nobody on Discord has changed their names to just Bob White, and I understand in theory why, but I disagree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bob White.
So this samurai changes his name to Quario, and he travels around as a traveling priest. And he still has the heart of a samurai, so he's much braver than a lot of the traveling priests. He goes to the areas that the other priests...
Yeah.
We don't want to say that they were, like, scared to go there, but, like, he was even less scared than they were to go there. So he's the one who ends up going into a lot of the more, like, rural, out-of-the-way places to, you know,
the spooky haunted ones.
The spooky zones.
Okay.
Yeah. He goes to the spooky zones. So he's traveling in one of these...
Welcome to the spooky zone.
Welcome to the spooky zone with Quario.
I'm Quario.
So he's traveling in this really remote area, and he's like in the middle of the forest, and he notices that the sun is starting to go down, and he's like, there aren't any villages anywhere nearby. I'm just going to have to suck it up and sleep outside. And it's not the first time, won't be the last time. You know, he's again, like a hardened samurai who has now been a traveling priest for many years. He's accustomed to just sort of sleeping outside.
Yeah.
So he bundles himself up and he sits down at the bottom of a tree just off to the roadside and prepares himself for the night. And just as he lays down, a woodcutter comes down the road, and he's holding bushels of wood under his arms. And he comes up to Quario and he's like, you must be brave? Quario is like, I mean, yeah, but like, what do you mean?
I am.
Yes. And the woodcutter is like, well, this area is very dangerous. And he says, you're not afraid of any of the things in here? You're not afraid of the hairy things?
What are the hairy things?
They don't explain what the hairy things are.
Aw. I'm imagining little Ewoks.
Aw. I'm imagining little tribbles. They're little hairballs from Star Trek. They're just blue balls of hair.
Nope.
And no?
No, I don't know what those are.
I'm sure you've seen them.
No.
They're just little living toupees.
Aw.
So the woodcutter says, you know, aren't you afraid of the hairy things? And Quario says, my friend, I am only a wandering priest, a cloud and water guest, as the folk call it, which I think is a cool way to talk about someone who just kind of passes through, is just like
clouds.
Like a passing cloud.
And rain.
Yeah.
I'm a passing cloud. Oh, no, he's a bummer.
I'm a cloud boy. And I am not in the least afraid of hairy things, if you mean goblin foxes, goblin badgers, or any creatures of that kind. You can just put goblin in front of something.
Goblin Max, Goblin Janey.
Goblin lamp, goblin desk.
Goblin chest decongestant pills.
I'm not afraid of any of those things.
I'm especially not afraid of goblin chest congestant pills.
So he's like, no, I'm not afraid of any of those things. And the woodcutter is like, okay, well, even if you're not afraid, you still shouldn't have to sleep out here. If you want, you can come. My house is pretty close by. I live in sort of a poor thatched hut, and I don't have any food. But if you just want a roof over your head, you can come stay.
I'm not going to trust you, goblin woodcutter. I know.
You want me to come stay in your goblin house?
Without goblin food? I know I'm going to be the goblin food loiter.
You want me to follow you through the goblin forest to the top of the goblin hill?
And he's like, you don't understand how this works.
The goblin driveway.
Have you never been outside in public?
No. So the woodcutter offers a place to stay for Quario, and Quario gratefully accepts, and he says, thank you, humble woodcutter. I appreciate your kindness. And so he goes with the woodcutter. He follows him up to his house. So the woodcutter, they walk to the top of this hill, and there's a clearing in the trees at the top of the hill. And before they go into the house, the woodcutter brings Quario over to, there's like a system of like bamboo pipes that brings water up from a nearby stream, and they wash their feet before they go inside.
Good.
And from there, Quario can see out back, there's like a vegetable garden, and then there's a stand of bamboo and a cypress forest nearby and everything, and he can hear the sounds of a waterfall nearby. It's really a nice little...
Yeah.
It is like a poor thatched little hut, but it's in a very nice... It's all about the location.
Yeah, I would turn that into an Airbnb and ruin it.
Commercialize the Goblin House. Woo!
If you guys want to rent the Goblin House on Airbnb, hit us up.
So finally, the woodcutter brings Quario into his house, and inside the house there is a little fire in the center of the room, like in a dugout in the floor, that is just crackling merrily, and there are 4 people seated around the fire, men and women.
Okay.
Sexy. And as soon as Quario comes in, they all stand and they bow deeply, and Quario is a little bit surprised by this. He's like, your manners are amazing for people who are so far out. Like, I hadn't even introduced myself, and you could tell that I was like of noble birth, which tells me that maybe you're not from around here. Like, maybe you've lived in the city before, too.
I was expecting you guys to spit in my face.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Are you guys not dirty fucking peasants? What are
it's
we?
super classes.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, Quario? You're the worst one.
You're worse than Wario. So he's like, wow, I'm surprised. Are you guys aren't from around here, are you? And the woodcutter who let him in, he is clearly the Aruji.
He's clearly the Aruji. I was just about to say.
He's clearly the Aruji of the household, which is like the head of the household, kind of. Yeah. And so the other 4 people, this is also how he's distinguished, is he's the Aruji among all of these people. He says, well, well spotted. We used to be a fairly well-to-do family in one of the bigger cities, but unfortunately I had my vices of wine and women, which I loved too well, and I fucked up, and I got in trouble, and I got us all banished, which is, that's on me, and I've been trying to kind of atone for it ever since. So really, I'm just kind of praying for an opportunity to, sort of prove myself, and the way that I've been trying to do that is by helping people less fortunate, hence you coming to my house, right?
Oh. Well, you didn't invite me, sir. The Goblin Woodcutter invited me.
No, this is the woodcutter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
The Aruji is the woodcutter.
Thank you. Okay, I thought that one of the people that stood up
No. These 4 people around the fire are just, like, part of his family. So the woodcutter, the Aruji, is like, well, that's why I invited you to my house, is because I'm trying to atone for what I did. And Quario is like, I am a holy man, and I firmly believe that you can atone for whatever crimes you may have committed.
Yeah.
And if it will help, I will read the sutras for you tonight before I go to bed. So he's like, I will pray on your behalf that an opportunity will come for you to reverse your karma and kind of make up for what you've done.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a very sweet thing to do.
Oh.
And so they wrap up this conversation, and Quario goes into one of the little side rooms that's separated with like a sliding door, and the rest of everyone goes to sleep. And Quario stays up, and he lights a lantern, and he prays the sutras for his host to, say like, give this man an opportunity to prove that he is better than what he did before.
Yeah.
And so he stays up until pretty late. Everyone else is completely asleep, and he is about ready to go to bed. He, like, cracks open a window, and he listens to the outside, and it's, like, the night air rustling, and he can hear the waterfall and the crickets and everything. And he hears the waterfall, and he's like, I'm kind of a little bit thirsty. So he's like, there was that, like, little faucet that we washed our feet off in. I bet I could sneak out there and not wake anyone in the household up and just get a quick drink of water before I go to bed. So he steps to the door of his room and he pulls it aside and stops. Because in this main room of the house, there has been a slaughter. There are 5 headless bodies gathered around the fire. But then he looks closer and there is no blood. And he starts to think, perhaps this is not a slaughter. Perhaps this is an illusion by some goblin designed to drive him out of his mind. Or, worse yet, his hosts themselves were goblins.
Or vampires, right?
They're goblins.
Oh, okay, sorry, goblins. Goblin vampires.
And he recollects that in the book Soshinki, which is like a collection of monster stories, he's like, there is a kind of goblin that can detach its head. And yeah.
That's what I want to be.
Yeah, that's you.
That's what superpower I want, guys. I want to be able to take off my head. What? That's cool.
Yeah. I forgot about that, but this story is perfect for you. He's like, he remembers that there are stories told about these goblins that can detach their heads at will. Especially at night, they will detach their heads and go out and commit crimes when they're just ahead. And he remembers reading that the way to defeat these is to move their bodies so that the head can't find the body and it'll die.
Yeah.
So he takes the body of...
Oh my god, their kryptonite is movement.
Same.
Damn.
So he takes the body of the Aruji, the woodcutter, and he's like, this is probably the leader of the pack. He grabs the headless body by its ankles and chucks it out the window. And then he sneaks around to the back door of the house. He finds that it's barred shut, and he's like, okay, so when they took all of their heads off, their heads probably flew up through the smoke hole in the ceiling, which is why the door is barred.
Sure.
Yeah, makes sense. And he quietly unbars the back door and walks outside. And he starts walking back towards the vegetable garden looking for these heads, basically. And as he approaches the cypress stand, he hears voices. And it sounds like there are people talking. And he gets closer and closer, and he's moving very sneakily until finally he gets right up to this clearing where the voices are coming from. And he hides behind a tree, and then he peeks out and he sees 5 heads. The heads of these people who have hosted him for the night. And they are all fluttering around in the grove, and they're all like jabbering to each other and talking, and they're eating bugs, and like some of them are like rolling on the ground and like pulling earthworms out with their teeth.
Max,
and, like,
I
eating
love
worms.
this so much. This is blowing my mind. I love this so much.
Right?
I love them.
I love this image of them all just like hanging out, and they're all just bitching, and they're like eating earthworms, like pulling earthworms out of the ground with their teeth and being like, anyway.
I want to draw this. I'm having the best time.
I love this image. It felt like a Studio Ghibli thing.
I was
me.
just thinking this.
Yeah, like
this is like Spirited Away. This is what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Of just all these heads like rolling around and like gossiping to each other and everything.
Yes.
And some of them are like flying up into the trees. It's not
so
clear.
Whimsical. There's nothing inherently scary about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't explain how they fly. It just says that they flutter around. So I'm not sure if like they flap their ears or their hair or if they just like levitate, but they're flying around.
Aren't there floating heads in Spirited Away? Don't they go like, wah, wah? Like they have like low voices and they like flutter around? Guys, we have to watch Spirited Away again. Yeah. Guys, everyone listening to
everyone.
This. All 1,100 of you, can we please?
We've really been slacking, and we need you guys to all watch Spirited Away right now.
Thank you.
Drop everything. If you're driving, crash.
Should that be a t-shirt? If you're driving, crash. Or a bumper sticker.
I love it. So, all of these heads are rolling around and jabbering to each other, and he sees the head of the Aruji, the head of the household. Literally the head of the household. Oh! And the head is, like, rolling around in the dirt, and it stops, and it's like, you know, that traveling priest who came by tonight, he is so fat. We're gonna be so full after we eat him.
Oh, no!
After we've eaten him, our bellies will be well filled. And he's like, I really wish I hadn't told that priest that whole story about where we're from, because then he started praying and we can't get him when he's praying. So, like, that was my bad, guys. And hopefully, though, by now he'll be asleep. So the Aruji sends one of the heads back. He's like, go check to make sure that the priest is asleep and we'll all come back and we'll eat him, okay? And the heads continue jabbering around in the clearing while this one head goes off to check. The head comes back and is like, the priest is gone and he moved your body specifically. And it describes the Aruji's head. His face contorts. Its eyes opened monstrously. Its hair stood up bristling and its teeth gnashed. Since my body's been moved, I can't get back together with it. And he's like, so I'm dead already, basically, because I can't find it. And
he didn't even try to find it. All he did was chuck it out the window. It's just there.
Yeah.
Just fucking look.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's like, I don't know what, it kind of seems like the, like...
You'd think that they would have left their bodies in a more secretive position, though.
Think.
Like, they just fucking...
They're not very smart. But the Aruji is like, well, I'm basically already sentenced to death. So I guess the last thing I'll do is I'm going to go fuck up that guy.
Yeah!
He says, I will tear him, I will devour him. And there he is, behind that tree, the fat coward. Ah! And the priest behind the tree is like, oh, fuck. All of the heads start to fly at him. And he reaches and he grabs like a sapling of a tree and yanks it out of the ground.
Yes.
And just wields it like a baseball bat. And all these heads are flying at him and he keeps knocking them away. And he keeps, especially the Aruji, keeps coming back. And after all the other heads have given up and like either been knocked out or like rolled away, the Aruji is still coming at him. And Quario is like just trying to fight this thing off with a tree. And the head of the Aruji grabs onto the sleeve of his clothes. Yeah. Which I forget the word for at this moment.
Shirt.
The head like bites onto the sleeve and Quario can't get this head off. He keeps like knocking it in the head and he can't get it to let go. So he grabs the head by its top knot and just beats the shit out of it until it's dead. But even after it's dead, its jaw doesn't unclench. So it just hangs on his sleeve and he can't get it to come off.
At least it's not on his arm.
Yeah.
Take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. Max gave me the most suspicious fucking look. Like, Janey, wait.
Janey, cut it out. He's a samurai and a priest. Leave him alone.
No.
So this head is, like, clamped onto his sleeve, and he's like, well, that's not coming off. He, like, tries to knock it off, and it won't come off. Mm-hmm. So he's like, all right. And he walks back towards the house. And he goes in, he sees all of the heads have returned to their bodies of the other people in the household. And as soon as they are reattached to their bodies, they all scream, and they're like, get away, the priest! Ah! And they run away.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, bye. And he collects up all of his things from the little room where he was sleeping. And he continues on his journey. He decides to keep this head on his sleeve. Yeah. The head is... He examines the head, and its face is all fouled with blood and foam and clay. So, like, the dirt from this tree that he's uprooted is all over its face, and it's, like, bleeding, and it's got, like, spittle foam everywhere. It's gross. Yeah. And he looks at it, and he says, what a miyaga, which is, like, a souvenir. He's like, this is going to be a fun little present to come home with, is this nasty dude head with all this gross stuff on it.
God, what a fucking serial killer. He's like, I like this trophy.
Well, I mean, it's a goblin that he's defeated.
Sure.
So he continues on his journey. He arrives in Suwa, the town of Suwa, and he just has this head dangling off of his sleeve. And he's, like, walking through the center of town, and children are, like, screaming and running away, and women are fainting. And the police are like, hey, man, you're obviously under arrest. You have a head dangling off of your sleeve. And he's like, that's what you think. And then they arrest him.
That's what she said.
And then they arrest him. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, I'm not talking. Which I'm like, why wouldn't you just tell them what's going on?
I want my lawyer, says Quario.
And finally he's brought before the magistrate. Or the magisters, rather. And they're like, well, obviously you've murdered this man and kept his head as a trophy, so you're in trouble and you're gonna be punished. And he's like, you've mistaken me. Here's what happened. And he tells them the whole story.
I love that there's a court case in this.
Yeah.
What?
And the whole court is like, do you think we're fucking stupid? Do you really think that we believe that a bunch of heads attacked you? that's not real. That's not real. But the oldest of the magistrates comes forward and he's like, before we make a call on this, we should examine the head more closely. And so they...
Yeah, how come they haven't done that so far?
Yeah, right?
Have him take off his shirt. Just take the head.
Yeah. So they have him take off his shirt and he presents his robe to them.
Good.
And... what's the word? Kuromo. Not kimono, kuromo.
Okay.
His, like, samurai shirt. Quario takes off his kuromo and presents this to the magistrates with the head hanging off of it, and they take a closer look. The old man looks at it, and he sees that there are these little red characters at the nape of the neck of the head, and he says, it's just as I suspected. This is that thing that you thought it was. What is it? He agrees that it is a Rokuro-Kubi. He's like, I've heard of these things before. I read about them in this book. And the book told me that if it is a real Rokuro-Kubi, it'll have these red characters along, like, the nape of the neck.
Yeah.
So this is, like, a goblin that he's slain, and he's telling the truth. Also, there's no blood, and this is very clearly, like, it's not, like, a stump of, like, a cross-section of a neck. It's, like, he describes it as being, like, when a leaf falls from a tree. It's, like, it's not, like, gory. It's as though, like, there's a designed separation.
Yeah.
So it's, like...
Yeah.
It's not like an open wound. It's just like, oh, that's supposed to come off, kind of.
Yeah,
There's
like
no
taking,
blood.
like taking a cap off of something.
Yeah. So also, additionally, there's no blood, which is probably a good sign that.
But there was blood all over his face.
Yeah, but not on his neck stump.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? Because it was designed to come off.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the neck stump isn't like a bloody stump.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a...
I love that there's another neck stump episode. This is nice.
Neck stump, neck stump.
This comes
stump.
up way more than I thought it would in folklore.
And the old man says, like, yes, this is what you say it is. It is a goblin, and you have slain it, and we thank you. We also know that there are these kinds of goblins in the hills. We've known that they've been plaguing the roads for a long time, so he's like, guys, we gotta let him go. He's totally fine.
Yeah.
But then the old man turns back to Quario, and he says, but what kind of traveling priest are you that beat the shit out of this goblin? You must be, like, a very sturdy kind of priest. And Quario says, oh, well, yes, I haven't always been a priest. Back when I was a samurai, I was known as Isogai Heidaizemon Taketsua.
Okay.
His name from the beginning of
Yeah.
Kyushu.
It's a guy who does Zumba at the zoo.
Yeah. Of Kyushu. There may be some among you who remember me. So he's like, oh, yeah, I used to be the samurai. You might have heard of me. And everyone's like, oh, my God, we have heard of you. You're amazing. And he's like, oh, it's not that much.
Can't believe we almost executed you.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's our bad.
And so they all bring him to, like, the mayor's house, and they give him a big party and everything. And then they're like, all right, do you need anything for the rest of your journey? He's like, nah, I'm fine. They're like, all right, we'll come back and visit. And he's like, maybe. And he continues on. He brings the head with him as his souvenir to bring back to his family.
Every town he goes to, everyone's like, arrest him! And he has to do the same court case over and over again.
No. But he continues down the road, and then a robber mugs him and is like, give me your clothes. Which isn't...
Okay. All right. Wattpad, here we come.
And Quario is like, okay, but just so you know, there's a head on my sleeve.
Yeah, there is.
You're gonna get really scared.
Woo!
And the robber's like, no, there isn't. What? And he gets really scared, and he's like, oh my God, this guy, I just tried to rob this guy who's wandering around, a murderer, a psycho with a head on his sleeve.
This is
God.
Why I want the superpower. It will never not be handy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or heady.
It will never not be heady. I hate it.
So the robber is like, oh my God, I just stopped this guy. This is fucking terrifying. Hey man, I super respect you for being a crazy and insane murderer. Why don't you sell me your shirt with the head on it? And then I can pretend to be a priest and actually be a murderer. And it'll be hilarious. And I'll make so much money. And Quario is like, I don't think you will. And also, I mean, you can, but that's a goblin head. And it probably won't bring you good luck because it's a goblin's head that you were... Yeah. You were trying to mug me, and now you're trying to buy my shirt, and it probably doesn't look super good on you morally.
Or physically.
You
cannot pull off these vertical stripes.
No,
Stop
honey.
trying.
No, honey. And the robber's like, okay, well, I'll take it. and he gives him like an amount of money.
This is super-
Quario goes home, and then the robber wanders around and pretends to be a goblin priest who like slays goblins until he gets to the town of Suwa, where this court case happened. They're like, we know you're not that guy.
Yeah.
And also this is what happened, and you should be really fucking scared of like claiming that you did this when you didn't. And the robber's like, I've learned my lesson. And he brings the head up to the top of the hill to the house where the goblins were and buries it and puts a tombstone up there. And that's the end.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild ending.
Yeah, it really de-escalates.
It really does. Also, putting a tombstone above it seems like a thing of honor.
It is. He's like, I don't want this fucking bad juju on me anymore. So he takes the head and he buries it in its like ancestral home, and he has someone say the rites over it to be like, hey, my bad, sorry, please don't give me bad luck anymore, kind of thing. It doesn't say that he has bad luck, but it's kind of like
he just doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I love the imagery of floating heads.
Yeah, I just love the heads rolling around in the dirt and like eating bugs.
I'm just such a huge fan of. This is so fucking. I almost said this casually, and know that I'm gonna say it casually, but know that I know how weird it sounds. I am such a fan of decapitation in folklore. I have a series of spooky children's books that I have written, and one day will illustrate and publish, called The Head Collector, and it's just about this.
Hell yeah.
I'm a huge fan of heads. It's something I learned about myself just now.
You're a big old head hound.
I am a head hound. Ugh, I am a head collector, for sure.
A head hunter.
Great. Good job. Thanks. That was very fun.
Oh, so this yokai is the Rokuro-Kubi, and this is actually one of the first instances of it we see in Japanese literature.
Oh.
There is later a distinction between this, which is like a detachable head Rokuro-Kubi, and there's another kind which is like a lengthening neck Rokuro-Kubi.
Yeah,
where
that one, we've seen that one a bunch in horror.
Yeah, where like it's supposedly like the same kind of thing where its neck just gets really long so its head can move kind of independently of its body. And that is now what is known as Rokuro-Kubi, whereas the fully detached head one is the Nuke-Kubi.
Okay.
So that's what this is. But this is one of the first times we see it. And I read in the other book that I have, Yokai, which I should have brought in here, but I didn't. It's a book about yokai. We've used it as a reference for other things, so it'll be in the notes for this episode. But
and I'll put the picture of it on the Instagram.
Yeah.
In the Discord.
But apparently this trope of the idea of a monster whose head comes off and moves independently of the body actually comes from Chinese lore. And there were all these rumors about like a tribe of people somewhere that could detach their heads and have them move independently of their bodies.
Cool.
And then it moved over to Japan and became this like goblin story.
Maybe that was my past life. I lived in that village.
I also have some pieces of art of this, and some of them are very funny. I will also say a lot of the art, it's the idea of a sex worker who has an elongating neck.
Yeah.
And that's gross. That's a gross place for your mind to go to immediately.
That is a really gross place. Also, just ancient Japanese art surrounding sex workers is often very disturbing.
But there is one piece of art that I absolutely fucking love. And it's this woman in like a beautiful dress with her hair up and everything. And her neck is like fucking silly noodle neck.
It is!
And she's like smoking something. She's just like sitting on the floor with a big old long noodle neck and then like smoking something. And it's very cool.
Oh god, the sex worker one is so upsetting.
Yeah, it's really gross.
We're not going to put this one on the Instagram, but I might put it on the Discord.
Yeah.
Maybe with like a filter, like a censorship over it.
Yeah, if you go 2 more, there's also that one, which is like
spooky.
Yeah, just a group of people with a head over them like a rainbow.
The elongated necks are so fun.
They're fucking wild.
Yeah.
Oh, this one is 2 different, that thing.
Yeah.
Hui. And one of them is a cool, sexy lady who's smoking, and the other one is this spooky guy who has his head craned all the way over to the other side of the picture to steal someone's noodles, I think.
That's truly what I would use that power for.
Honestly, hilarious.
I love it. A new cryptid just dropped.
New cryptid
just dropped. Thank you, Max.
Anytime. my throat started going partway through that.
Yeah.
So,
We gotta-
sorry if that was a little bit low energy. But
We have to end this very soon. But if you guys want to see these pictures, go onto the Instagram, sign up for the Discord for $3. I put them up on there as well if you don't want to join Instagram. If you'd rather join the Discord. Who are you, honestly? Try signing up for our Patreon. Just try it. You can get an extra bonus episode. You might like it. And what else? Oh, if you liked this episode and you want to help us out and you don't have money, consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, because that's the one that I follow. And the one that, helps us out, I think, the most is Apple Podcasts, because that's where they rate things. So consider doing that. And you can find all of our sources and our links and all of our socials and everything like that on our website at sortofthestory.com. And you can email us. Today we got an email from somebody that said, "You've done pee-pee stories. What about wee-wee stories?" And then we got a lot of references for that, and it made me laugh so hard today. Like, literally, I was in my room giggling so hard.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending us wee-wee stories. Hold on, I'm going to find your name, because that was hilarious. Sophia Love. Sophia Love, thank you for sending us the wee-wee woman, and we will be doing it on the podcast, maybe.
Probably.
Probably. And guys, have a wonderful freaking week.
Have a freaking good one.
Have a freaking
You freaks.
amazing week. Okay, bye. Testing.
Testing.
Let me move this around. Okay, what you got?
I like that we both sound like ducks, first of all.
Guess what, Janey? Listen to this podcast. We're professionals.
I don't know if you know, I've been watching Never After, the Dimension 20.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers for Never After.
Every once in a while I hear this, and then Pinocchio grabs the knife. Like, it's just like a wild ride from the other room.
It really is. Spoilers for Never After if you haven't finished it yet, so don't listen to this. But I just finished watching the last episode, and the Baba Yaga is a major player in it. And there's a scene where Cinderella is like a warrior in glass armor, and the Baba Yaga is like, "Come here and give your grandma a hug!" And she just grabs Cinderella and sails into the air, and they like wrestle in the air, and Baba Yaga is like, "Wiggly little girl." It's just like, it's really good. It's like, wow, this is just for me.
That is pretty great.
This is maybe just for me.
It like fights in the air. It is wild. It is having no context or really interest in like that world at all, being D&D, not fairy tales.
Yeah.
Just every once in a while, like, it's like really dark storylines, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And it's just like, Cinderella then has to slit her throat, and it's like Pinocchio watches in glee. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this other room? It's really fun.
Yeah. The Baba Yaga is my favorite. Obviously, Brennan does the voices for all of the characters who aren't the player characters.
The NPCs.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Who is she? A gamer girl? And Aesop is one of the characters.
Yeah.
And the Baba Yaga is also one of the characters. Aesop gets like summoned partway through the final battle.
Cool.
And the Baba Yaga's like, hee! And she's like flying around everything. And she like swings down to Aesop and she's like, "So what's the moral of my story?" And he's like, I don't get your deal. And she's like, "I like you." And then they just flirt. And it's just Brennan with himself. Nobody else interacting. It's just Brennan as the Baba Yaga and Aesop flirting with each other. It's great. Aesop is like, "I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe any animals here to help me?" And Baba Yaga is like, "No animals here to help you now." It's like, this is fucking wild.
This is so weird.
I love it.
It reminds me of the grandmother Willow thing of, "Good news, Pocahontas. I'm coming out of the tree. I'm gonna marry
I will marry Coco."
No, Grandma, no.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
On a list of weird things that have changed our personalities, that's one of them. The grandmother Willow coming out of the tree and saying, no, it's fine. Yeah, that has changed us. That changed our brain chemistry.
Yeah.
So.